there was a time where I was trying to figure out, I felt like wasn't quite fulfilling my purpose. We were both busy in church, both working in ministry, but I was on one side doing some things and Marty was on one side doing some things. And I felt like that when God created me, if he created me with a purpose, and God created Marty when he created him with a purpose, when we got married, if we become one, then I felt like we were supposed to have the same purpose. I think it was okay for me to be serving in other areas and him to be serving in other areas, but I felt like that there was a purpose that we should be doing together. And I wasn't 100% sure what it was, and I remember praying about it for a while, and there was kind of a side note, but I knew that God had been studying, knew that God had changed the names of people in the Old Testament. You know, Abram went to Abraham, and Sarai went to Sarah, and you know, whatever. And so I just asked him one day what he called me. And when I was praying, I'm like, Lord, what is my name? What do you call me? Because the name Molly means rebellion. And I just could not believe that the Lord was calling me rebellious. And so I asked him one day, he said, what is my name? What do you call me? And he didn't say anything back. But a couple months later, when I was praying, trying to figure out what our purpose was together, mine and Marty's purpose was together, I know, just like I'm talking about now, the Lord told me that, just like this, he said, I call you mother to many. And so I thought, what does that mean, mother to many? And I just started thinking, you know, I have kids that come over all the time, and the doors open and swings in and out, and I'm okay with that. But Marty and I began to talk about it, and what we realized was I was really good about being a mother to these children at that point. They're children, they're grown adults now, but they needed a father too. In fact, they needed a father more than they needed a mother. Every child has been different. Some of them needed us because they were desperate. Some of them have great parents and just need us for a season because they were at school. So we've started this 100 Things in a Year, and it didn't start out 100 Things in a Year. It was really kind of an odd conversation. And basically I told Marty, I said, I really only want to do one thing if we can pull it off. Would love to get all the kids together at one time in the same house. That's basically what we gave the kids for Christmas. They all got this trip. All gathered in the room. We're going to take a minute and get to introduce everybody. We'll start from not necessarily oldest kid down, but we'll start from what would be called? What would be the first? We'll do first kid. First kid down, okay?
First kid down.
This. This is the OG. This is Landy or Corland. Corlandius Eugene Franklin, the second. Twin of Carlos. So Landy came to live with us 12 years ago, which would have been 2007. I promised these guys that I would tell them the story of Landy getting arrested at my house. So, because most of them don't know this because it's been so long ago. So, let's tell the story of Landy getting arrested at the house. You want to help me too, right? Okay. So,
I can help too.
Okay, you can help too. So there was a time that we went out of town. Landy was living with us at that time. We went out of town to the woods. I think they went hunting. They went hunting. Okay. So I got a phone call in the middle of the night from ADT telling me that the alarm was going off and had been going off for 2 minutes and wanted to know if I needed to dispatch the police. I told them yes, that I had someone there. One of my sons was at the house. And if he was not turning the alarm off after 2 minutes, that something had happened and I needed them to go to the house and check on him. So they hang up the phone and I'm pacing and I get another call and it's Miss Harden. This is so-and-so from the such and such police department. We are at your house. The alarm is still going off. There is a green Jeep in the driveway, that looks like the basement door is ajar. Would you like us to enter the house? And so I said, absolutely. My son drives a green Jeep. If the basement door is ajar and the alarm is still going off, yes, ma'am, we can hear the alarm from the driveway. I said, you need to go in. You need to enter the house. There's something wrong. In the meantime, I have called his phone 14, 15 times, however long it takes to call it while we're waiting on the police to get there. Okay? Then the longest 15 minutes of my life passed. I hear nothing. from anyone for 15 minutes. I finally get a phone call. Miss Arden, this is so-and-so, so-and-so from the police department. Can you please describe your son? I said, I don't know, he's 5'8", 5'9", right, Marty? I said, he's, I don't know, 175, 185, I don't know. He's 22. Oh, my God, he's black. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am, we'll call you right back. And I hang the phone up. So, finally, about 5 minutes later, I get, Mom. Landy, what's the matter? I don't know, Mom. I was asleep and the police came in. I said, Landy, the alarm has been going off now for 15 minutes. I've called your phone 15 times. Someone has come in the back door. Someone came in the back door, went through his Jeep, stole all of his Beyonce CDs. Went through his Jeep. When they opened the basement door, set the alarm off, and Landy has slept through it. Now
the alarm was loud. Like,
alarm
you could hear it from across
So,
the
Landy, would you like me to finish telling your side of the story? Would you like to tell your side about how you saw the police?
You can continue.
So, Landy was upstairs, and you have to go, like, all the bedrooms were upstairs, and there's a living room, and the dining room, the kitchen, all that's downstairs. And so, as the police officers come in, search the downstairs, and start heading upstairs, about that time, Landy decides he's going to wake up and hear the alarm. So Landy comes out the bedroom door, comes around, and as he starts around the kitchen, the stairwell, the police officers are coming up the stairwell with their guns pulled. And Landy comes around and goes, "Oh my God, the alarm's going off!" And they said, "Sir, put your hands on your head." But sir, put your hands on. He said, "No, the alarm's going off. Someone's got to turn the alarm off." They said, "Sir, get on the ground." "But why is the alarm going off?"
He squealed.
He says, "Mom, I squealed like a little girl." And so that day, they put the handcuffs on him.
They did.
Put him in the back of the car.
They did.
And then the neighbors who have known him for however many months he was living there stood there and watched him sit in the back of the car.
It was like Peter and Jesus. He said, "Hey, they know me." And they were like, "I never knew the man."
Lenny, were you telling him? Were you telling him?
He's like, "They
I
know
was
me."
like, she knows me. And she,
F you,
Freaking
Carol.
you, Marco. Did you see what? Lady Sue.
So if you want Landy to house sit for you, I'd say don't.
Oh, that reminds me, when Landy's car got broken into and they stole all his Beyonce CDs, all of them were strode all over the yard, so they grabbed them, took off, and realized they were all Beyonce. They're like, "I'm not doing this, get out of here."
Drew.
Can't make any money.
What?
Mom left that out on purpose.
There's a lot of things I've left out already. Let's go into number 2. Number 2 is Christopher Brandon. Chris Pugh, everybody. Chris actually moved in with us in 2011, about June of 2011. Chris was probably the most awkward kid I've ever met in my life. He was the most socially awkward. He's not anymore, right? He had a little bit of some harden on him, and look at him. But some of you may not know, but Chris actually only lived with us for about 5 or 6 months. He has lived with us the least amount of time that anybody else in the room did. Chris was the shortest amount of time and has stuck like glue. All right, so Chris, tell us what your most memorable moment. See, I'm not going to throw all your trash. What do you remember
Most memorable moment?
about living at the house?
Oh snap!
No pressure.
There's so
Right? So many.
It's
Honestly,
inevitable.
First thing that comes to my mind is probably me and Drew Me and Drew's epic fight, like 4 months in.
Oh my god, that was it was over the stupidest thing in the world.
I don't even remember what.
I know exactly what it was. It was over a charger.
Yeah, it was like screaming match.
Like it was a computer charger. I will admit the fight was stupid on my end because
Imagine that.
I was in 7th grade. Give me a break. Are you kidding me?
What's your excuse?
I was 13 years old. I was a moron. Anyway, I was Chris's charger for his computer died, and I had a school issued computer that used the same charger. And he asked if he could borrow the charger, and I told him no, that I didn't want because his charger died. I was like, no, this is a school issued charger. I don't want this. I don't want you to kill this charger. Like I'm not giving it to you. And he's like, dude, I just need it for like a couple minutes to do some work. I was like, no, you're not using
I
my
need to
charger.
Skype with Quasimodo.
We needed to Skype and I was like, bro, I'm not giving you my charger. Like, this is the thing, I'm not gonna risk it dying. You're like, it's a charger, that's what it's used for.
Okay, I will say though that it's inevitable that every time we're at the house, something gets broken by Chris. Every time. He broke Mason's
breaking
computer.
Mason's computer. I remember that one.
He broke Mason's computer. Like, something happened
I
every
lost
time.
like my entire iTunes library.
I
Dude, I had like
What's
200
that?
CDs, like a giant case, and literally like 6 months before somebody had stolen it out of my car, and then he broke my laptop, and I was like,
We left to go to Texas to Chris and Katie's wedding. And Tyler was doing some work at the house. So this was June the 4th of what year? 2013. Tyler was doing work at the house. He was building a dog cage. And then Stephen was coming to house sit. And so neither one of them left for about 2 years after that. So they came at the exact same time. And Tyler and Mason were roommates. They both went. My lips are sealed.
You're my boy, Blue.
Drew was 15 and probably came closer to more near-death experiences during that summer, but it was the best summer of his life, I
It
bet.
was. It really was.
So we'll go here. So Tyler and Caitlin have been married 3 years. Yeah, but got one that's 19 months and one on the way. All right. So tell us tell us something that you can remember, Tyler. One of your favorite. You got one?
Yeah, that time we killed all the birds in the pond, and we didn't know no better. I didn't know no better, but I got talked into it. We go out there, and there's a bunch of ducks on the pond, and we took pistols. We took the pistols and shotguns and everything, and we started killing all the ducks.
It's against the law. It's like you right there.
It was me, Steven, and Drew. We come in from all angles and killed all the ducks. And then they found out about it. I got a call from Marty. I remember standing by the pecan tree. He said, "Son, yeah, what you been doing?" "Nothing really. Been killing some ducks. It's possible."
How many of you in the room have ever gotten the call from Marty that made your heart fall to your knees? Show of hands.
Like without getting in trouble or without getting in trouble?
Get in trouble. Look at these.
I got a text message.
Okay.
Because by the time he got to you, he just gave up. He had nothing else. Like, we're wasting time.
Okay. So it wasn't duck season.
No, and
It was in the heat of summer.
It was completely illegal because apparently you can't kill ducks on the pond. They got to be flying.
Yep.
I didn't know this, and you got to have permits, but whatever. They were tasty.
That's not as bad.
They also killed. Wait, let's don't say that on video.
Too late. Cesar, edit that.
All right. So Carly and Stephen. So Stephen came at the same time. He and Carly have been married since September.
No, December.
Oh yeah. All right. So we're just fresh little newlyweds. So, Stephen, I don't know, tell me something. Tell me something good.
No, it was a lot of good memories. It was a time in my life to where I really, for one, needed a place to go and had a lot to learn. So it set me up for a lot of the success. I mean, I don't say successful, but the things that I've got to do in my life. So, take it to a emotional moment. Sorry. But no, thank you guys for seriously
Oh,
investing.
sure, this is amazing.
It kind of led me to my work, to Nashville, to my wife, to now expecting a baby.
No, you're lying. Get out of here.
Drew, you only asked her 6 times if you wanted to sip of your drink tonight. She said no every time.
So yeah, we're gonna
Wait.
have a baby in January. Here we go.
Get out of here.
So, baby number 6.
Hey, Mom, it's baby number 7.
4, 5, 6, 7. 7! Oh dear God. We went from 0 to 7 in 4 years, 3 years, 4 years.
4 years.
4 years. So I never had, so we always said that we would take boys in, but we never would take in girls because when you have a house full of boys, just bringing in girls is just danger, right? So it was never girls.
Stranger danger.
And then this one,
Cycle plus one is female.
shut up. We've had several people ask us about girls, and I've turned them all down. But I don't know if I thought Holly wasn't a girl. I don't know. Holly and Drew were, they were good friends. They were best friends, and so I don't know. It worked out. I didn't worry about them. I guess.
I'm a girl now.
She's a girl now. So she's had to endure a lot of the things I have too.
I don't know about a story. I did learn, obviously I was there over the summer, the first 2 months, and I don't know if the world knows this, but Molly and Marty typically, go to bed normal time, 10 o'clock, whatever.
Oh, God.
And they wake up every morning, 5 o'clock. I don't know if they still do this. They both read their Bibles, 5 a.m. That's what they do. Summer time, I was in an internship, and I had to be at the church by like 5:55, 6 a.m. And so obviously you would go to, most people would go to bed early, whatever. Well, I'm a little bit of a night owl, and so you never put up a rule about this, by the way, so I wasn't breaking any rules.
My job is not to cage y'all. My job is to set you
Maybe
free.
you never had this problem before, but I would stay out, and I remember specifically one night. Oh, I have another one too, but this one's fast. Specifically one night it was like 3:45, and I'm walking up the stairs that are older than Vietnam, and I'm creeping, but I'm going really slow and trying not to make noise. And one particular, I try to go really slow because there's a spot where you can miss it if you hit the right spot. And I hear, "I know you're there, please go up the stairs." And I'm freezing my steps, and I scurry up the stairs really fast.
You hear everything.
And I run up and I slam the door really fast, and I hop into bed like she didn't hear me. But she heard me. I mean, I'm sure she heard me when Jake and Grizz barked and
Every single time. All right, so after Holly was Joe.
Me.
We have a very unique story that we won't tell because you know how you came to live with me.
Oh yeah, we can tell that.
He actually did an
That's kind of creepy.
It is. He did an internship. I mean, he did the LU at our church during the summer, and I really never talked to him. I taught a class, and I just talked to him through class, but I never had any one-on-one time with him at all. Did I? The very first time I ever had a conversation with him was when we did. So how many LU students got the evaluation?
Still never got mine.
All right, well, we're going to put you here in the middle. We're going to all give you your evaluation in a minute. Everybody get their best Tyler together. We'll do that in a minute. Did everybody got their evaluation? Got their evaluation? Right, okay. So the first time I ever had a conversation with Joe, he walked in the room and the Lord told me he was going to move in with me. And I thought, that's weird. He's got a great mom and dad who love him, I guess. Do you? Robin and Alan, do you love him? But I kept my mouth shut. There were some conversations we had that day. And it was kind of a God moment. But anyway, I kept my mouth shut. I came home and told Marty that I thought we were going to have another boy move in. And then on Wednesday night, I don't remember how it happened, but I ran into him at Converge on Wednesday night. And we had a little conversation as we was doing. He said he wasn't sure. He thought he wanted to come up from school, but he needed a place to stay. And so, that's been 5 years ago, and there he's still here. It's really hadn't been 5 years. It's really only been 4. But now he's just a weekend. Now he's just a weekend friend. He only comes on the weekend.
When you get married, your wife is not moving in with us.
right, so anything,
I'm looking at it because I'm
Did
trying
you
to
see me?
any story?
That was the story. Okay, I will end with this. I will say, like, it was cool the first time I came to the house. Like, when she said you're moving in with me, I was like, I don't even know who you are. Like, you're a weirdo. Like, I don't know what to expect.
He truly thought that too.
And
He still does.
and I was just like, I don't know, maybe. So anyway, a transition. It took me a month. It took me a month to get to your house because I was like, I don't know if this is supposed to happen. Like, I drive up and like, if you've gone to her house, like you're in the middle of nowhere. I'm like,
I'm living with a serial killer.
I'm dead. But I remember walking in. There was food on the table. It was steaks. I think it was twice baked potatoes. And my mom came in, and my dad was there. And I immediately remember like I felt like I was home. And so it was really cool. I think we all kind of had that experience where we were all just kind of.
Hey, I will love y'all as much as you let me.
So it was cool.
All right, then it was T Fights. T Fights came 17?
16.
16.
Oh, you 16.
All right,
Summer 16, this one we both.
and stayed for about, you
It was
stayed,
like 2 years.
yeah, was it 2
You
years?
were there 2
I was
years?
gonna say a year and a half.
Oh my God.
I was there.
Are you legit?
Yeah.
I thought it was about a year and a half, but if he says 2 years, because he left in April or May. Oh no, it was June of the
Nobody
next
knows
year.
how long he was there because he always stayed up in his room.
That's true. He's a gamer.
It's true.
He stayed in his room, so.
The gay man.
That's it. No, I'm just kidding.
A gamer. So what? Do you have a funny memory?
I mean, not really. I do, like when we went to the next championship game and y'all went in and I walked 2 miles to go watch it on TV.
Oh, let me.
Wait a minute. Hang on. We only have 4 tickets, and he was gonna go and try to buy a ticket when we got there, but everybody was like, "No, not selling my ticket." All right. So then we had Peyton.
Hey.
He was part of our college, and it was closer for him to stay with us than have to drive back and forth home to go to school. So he did. All right. So anything that you remember specifically?
I'll say this: the first night I stayed there, I did not know y'all very well, and y'all were out of town, so I stayed there by myself.
Joseph got a home
And
cooked dinner. And you
J-Mon was staying there. No, J-Mon was
You
staying
know what?
there.
I think we were at Christmas again.
Yeah,
We were at
y'all
Christmas.
were.
So Steven and Tyler came when we were at Grizzlies, and then you came when we were at Christmas.
Yes, and I went to eat at Buffalo Wild Wings with a bunch of people before, and Oakley was there, and Oakley was like, "You're staying at the Arden House by yourself?" I was like,
Did you
"Yeah."
tell him about Zamora?
He told me all about Zamora. All about it. So J-Mon was staying there too at the time. So like I get there just like 9:30, 10 o'clock. I pull up. I've only been to y'all's house like one time maybe. And I pull through like where all the trees are and it just opens up and there's just like a full moon and I'm driving in and I'm like, oh my, I pull up.
Did you sleep in the car?
No. All they tell me is like the door will be unlocked. Like you don't have to worry about that. So I go through. I can't find anything. So finally I get upstairs and I'm first off I turn on the TV. All the lights are off and I'm watching the NBA Finals were on. And I was just watching it like this. And when about like 10:30 like hit, I was like, I'm just gonna try to go to bed. Like I'm so scared of now. So I go upstairs. And I'm laying in bed and I'm just hearing like all these like creaks, like, and I'm like, oh my god. So I called J-Mon, I'm like, hey man, are you about to be here? Like, I can't do this. Like, I will go home. Like, I need you to get here. And he comes and we both get in the 2 back beds in the back room.
That's where she lives. No, you got in her house.
The whole night. The next morning I woke up, I was like, how'd you sleep, dude? And J-Mon asked me that, and I was like, dude, I didn't sleep on a minute. I was so tired the next day, I couldn't do anything. It's the whole first night. Every single creak I heard, I was like, oh my god. Like,
This is Matt. Matt's still living with us now. Moved in May of last year. It's been a year.
Yeah.
It's been a year next week. It's been a year next week. So Matt, now we're back on track. Anything specific? Any stories? Anything we need to talk about?
I can't think of it. Well, this isn't a specific story. I just remember when I was still like super uncomfortable. I didn't know exactly how the dynamic would work, me living with y'all. But I got so much closer to Marty, I feel, when last summer, I think in the span of 2 weeks, there was like a fridge fell on him, then he kept running into open drawers and cabinets that he kept leaving open, and then he fell off a ladder when he was fixing lights, and I was like, bless him. And I realized how strong he really was. Resilience.
That's beautiful.
You're like, I want that.
It's a beautiful poem by Matthew Serrano.
The two of the children, I guess we figured out this one. It's 21, youngest of all, 21, and then Mason. What a beautiful face.
Oh, that's all right.
Mason's fine.
I will.
Mason, the oldest, 24. They're the real OGs. So, can you think of one good memory, the favorite memory of all from either one of y'all, other than Landy getting arrested? We've already said about that.
My favorite memory is specifically with Landy. We would talk Drew into playing games like Monopoly or Phase 10, and the goal of the game was never to win. It was to make Drew quit. And so to do that, if we were playing Phase 10, we would take all the wilds out of the deck before and give them to me and Landy. And so Drew never got them, and we always had as many as we need to make sure that he got left behind.
Tell me one day when Landy laid down 5 wilds. And he's straight off the bat. I'm like over here, I'm like, oh my god, I don't have anything, Landy. 5 wilds goes out. I'm like, you gotta be freaking kidding me!
And then Drew says, God, you've had all the wilds all night long. I haven't got a single one tonight. And I'm like, wouldn't most of you get that if they've had the wilds all night long and you hadn't had a single one at all? Would it not click?
I was 8 years old!
This was last week.
Every week. Every time.
I don't
If y'all
know.
want to make one of us choose an all-time favorite story, one of y'all going to choose an all-time favorite story.
Don't worry.
I mean, but this has been going on. 13 years.
I've got my favorite story. This is when Tyler lived with us.
Oh gosh.
Son, what are you doing?
Which one?
So Tyler lived with us.
Which Tyler?
Tyler Daly. Tyler Daly lived with us, and me and Molly, our bedroom was what was the office now. And so Tyler was still up. Me and Molly, we were in the bedroom. We were
Up front, when we left our bedrooms up front.
We were kind of brainstorming about what we could do to remodel this, that, and the other. And so we were having a whole discussion about the fact that the chimney was kind of wrapped in plaster, and that there was like brick behind
We
it.
thought, we did not know that there was a chimney there. I had a guess. I felt like that was a chimney.
And so Molly was over there just kind of pecking on it with her hand or whatever, and she was tapping it just to see what was behind it. And so
Tyler was going up the steps to the bedroom.
About this same exact time, Tyler was rounding the corner and was about to go upstairs, and Molly said, "Hey Marty, come over here and tap this."
And Tyler went, good night.
And so Molly hears Tyler going up the stairs, and she's like, "Hey Tyler, come here." And then he's like, "I don't know."
And then I said, but first I was going, Marty, tap this, tap this. And I said, no, really, there's something. Do you feel how hard this is? There's something. And Tyler was like, do I need to leave?
I'll never forget the moment that I realized that Marty loved me and I got so excited. Is me and you had been hanging out a bunch and Tyler was there, but like I thought he was cute, but I didn't really know anything about him. And I didn't think
You said the pigs would fly.
You didn't know he was an FNAO either.
No, I did not. Y'all were going to the Blooming Festival and you invited me to go and I was like, okay. And I had never talked to Marty before. And I was sitting in the very back of the car and I was so nervous because I was like, I don't even know who I'm going to talk to the whole time we go to the Blooming Festival. And Marty was like giving me a hard time and said something like, Caitlin, you better watch it or something like that. And I said, don't tempt me with a good time. And you went,
I like her. And I was like, oh my God, I've been accepted. After that, I felt so loved. I knew we were on the same, wavelength.
So we sat and told stories all night long, and we did not have time to get it all on this video. So if you want to sit and listen to some of the funny stories, a lot of them are naked stories, some of them are illegal stories, some of them are they're all just boys being boys. Check out part 2 of this video and get some popcorn, sit and laugh. It's going to be fun.